Lots to get through here. Let's speak with Tatton Spiller, founder of Simple Politics. Tatton, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Ian.
Nice to have you back with us. How's life with you? And happy Christmas. Where's your tree Christmas jumper and hat?
You've got me there. I pull out. Do you know what?
You're miserable. Is that
filming.
what it is?
I do some filming in this office for the Simple Politics YouTube channel, and I pull out all this Christmas stuff for when I'm filming that, and then I pop it back into the house and pretend it's not Christmas again.
Oh, do you? Oh, so it's so it's you haven't got two sets of decorations. You're going one. You're one set which you're spreading depending on your location.
I'm not some fat cat boss, Ian. You know,
you're not running a water company.
House. I'm not running a water company here.
Your surname's Spiller, so I mean it's quite possible.
Nomenclative determinism.
Indeed, that's exactly what I was about to raise that very point. We could have fun talking about that for 10 minutes. Either way, welcome to the programme. A happy Christmas and all the rest of it. But let's start with a story that does sort of accelerate a little bit at Christmas, and that's alcohol consumption. It's pretty much through the roof. I don't think any of us are that surprised, but I said earlier, Tatton, if you walked into a newsroom and said, I've got a great story here, it's something that's killing 150 people every single week in this country, heads would turn. What is it? What could it be? Is it a new pharmaceutical? Is it one of those new vaccines that people talk about on social media? Is it? No, it's beer, and it's perfectly legit, perfectly legal, and Brits are consuming so much of it, they're dying at that rate on a weekly basis.
It's incredible, the amount of acceptance of problematic drinking. I watch a lot of darts at Christmas time. I love the darts. I don't watch it the rest of the year, but at Christmas time, I love it. But it is a cathedral of alcohol and gambling. The whole thing is sponsored by a gambling company.
Yep.
The promotion of drink there is huge. I was in the supermarket yesterday, and they were telling me over the between Christmas songs on the radio in the supermarket that one particular beer was the official beer of the darts, and we can get involved now, and it's such a special deal. The consumption of everyday items that are otherwise branded as family friendly, alongside gambling and drinking, is beggars belief. We don't do it with cigarettes. We stopped. Formula One. You remember what Formula One was like? It was just wall-to-wall cigarette advertising.
What were they called? JPS. I don't even know if they exist anymore, but that was a big sponsor back in the day. This lovely black racing car. Yeah, black racing car with gold lettering. I mean, it looked amazing, and the whole kind of synergy between the two, which was deliberate, of course, was meant to make it. It made the car look sexy, and therefore, by association, the product was meant to be sexy as well. Doctors used to advertise this stuff back in the day.
Exactly so. So we know that we can do something about it without stopping it. I mean, we're now on smoking. Last time I was speaking to you, Ian, we're talking about smoking bans and that kind of thing. But just by stopping the advertising works. Just by removing promotions of things. If you go into any supermarket, the array of cheap booze available is ludicrous. And your story was about minimum price for alcohol. And in Scotland, you got £6.34 is how much a minimum bottle of wine should cost. Right, and I was on the Aldi website because I'm a diligent person, and I was doing research. I was doing research for this interview.
This is a new Tatton Spiller we've got here.
It certainly is.
So it's actually researching something. I love this. I love the new Tatton. Let's keep it up for 2025.
I went onto the Aldi website, and you can buy 11 bottles of fizz at Christmas for under £6.34. So there's a choice of nice, so you can open a nice bottle of bubbles on Christmas Day for less than that, right? There were 100 wines available for less than £6.34. One of them was an award-winning rosé. So we don't want people to drink as much.
Yeah,
we could stop all of that from happening, but then times are tough. How can I mean, I can afford a bottle of Prosecco at Christmas Day. Is it fair for me to say you shouldn't be having it because money is tighter?
Yeah.
You know, isn't it? It's nice. It's nice at Christmas to have a glass of red wine.
Yeah, 100% with your Christmas dinner.
Like, and beer is £1.14 on the minimum, you know, an average strength, average size can, £1.14. And on Sainsbury's website right now, you can get 18 cans of Stella, strong beer Stella, for 67p each.
67p a can. Wow.
Per can, on like it's on a special offer or whatever.
Sure.
But 67p per can for 18 cans, and then you start to think about what's changed in your VT about drinking. It was all pubs, right? All these people smoking outside pubs and ordering beers in the pub and all of that. But when it only costs 67p a can to drink at home, and it costs £5 a pint if you're lucky to drink out, people do it more at home,
of course,
where there is nothing stopping you. There's no last orders. There's no lovely bar staff saying, "Oh, Ian, you've had a bit too much."
Yeah.
Do you want to take it easy?
None of that. You do whatever you like. Carnage in your own house, if you want it to be.
If you want it to be, and it's really hard to stop drinking sometimes because there's no one there telling you to stop, and the third drink finishes and then this fridge just opens and there's a fourth drink in your hand.
And it's funny, we played in the last hour, and this happens at every budget usually, but Rachel Reeves announcing that there's going to be a reduction in duty on alcohol. The entire House of Commons goes in uproar of cheers and yay, you know, fantastic. This stuff that kills us is going to be cheaper. I mean, you can't imagine that happening with heroin in there. You know, heroin's going to cost you hardly anything from next year thanks to this new government. It'll be outrageous, but it gets a big, you know, almost a round of applause on the green benches.
But this is our culture, and when you're trying to justify not legalising cannabis, for example, it's really hard when people can say, I believe the science says that cannabis isn't nearly as bad for you as alcohol is.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, it's not perfect, like it's not the best thing to do, but if you were starting from scratch, you might have cannabis legalised before.
Yeah.
You had alcohol legalized, but it's why we've been drinking mead for thousands of years. You know, like drinking alcohol is part of what humans have done since humans were in existence.
Let's move to this story. Musk and Farage, the plot thickens. What is this relationship going to look like? It appears that a member of Donald Trump's administration will be simultaneously either working for or endorsing a different political party from the government of the day, which is a bit unconventional. It's not illegal in that sense. Donations might be illegal, but Mr. Farage has been speaking on what he would do with the money if there was a significant donation, and he said to recruit younger voters ahead of the next election. That's the way they'll go, and the smart money, as I'm sure you're aware, Tatton, is that if you have this kind of money to spend, buying data is absolutely key to winning elections so that you can work out to a millimetre where people are, what they want, political appetites, where in the country they are. If you've got that data, that really does accelerate your possibilities of success. But that data is incredibly expensive, so that's why they want Elon Musk.
Well, one thing that was interesting is that last week the big story was that Elon Musk was going to give them however much money, stupid amount of money. And then this week they came back. They sent their press releases out with, we've had this big meeting, look at these pictures of us at Mar-a-Lago. And then Nigel Farage, I saw him speaking in the Commons yesterday, and he was all like, oh, I've just come back from Mar-a-Lago. The debate had nothing to do with Mar-a-Lago. He just wanted to name drop in the chamber. But he didn't have a donation to announce. So he's got pictures, but he's not got what everyone said he was going to get from it. Now, these things take time. And one thing X does have is data. Yeah. Lots and lots and lots of data. So while it is very expensive, we can talk about how much money might come in. We don't know how much X would charge for the data. I mean, would that count as a donation? I'm rapidly realizing I am going well beyond anything I know anything about. But if X just gave Reform loads of data, would that be a donation, presumably of some kind? Yeah, it would get monetized. It would be transformed to a monetized account. Ian, you do ask difficult questions.
Do you know what? This is what it's all about. It's like, it's like the 1% club over here on this programme. Some people can just about do it instantly. Others have to diligently do their research.
I'm going out at 75%.
Let's get a word on water companies as well. Executives over there at Water HQ receiving significant bonuses last year, averaging a rise of 180,000 quid. This is water bills are going up. Set to rise by 36% over the next 5 years. Means the average bill is around just shy of 600 quid. While all of this is happening, while we've got water companies literally dumping poo into rivers and the sea, they are congratulating the bosses and the executives with huge bonuses of tens, sometimes hundreds of thousands of pounds. It's a bit weird, that, but this kind of thing always happens, right?
We are where we are, and water is in a right state, and we need to get somewhere else where water is in less of a state. How are we going to do that? We're going to do that with money. Money is the only way to get that done. And so we need to invest in our water. And you might say, well, that shouldn't be the responsibility of the user. We didn't put into this position. But that's largely irrelevant because it is in this position, and there needs to be money to sort it out. Like, there's the use of numbers is really interesting today. Lots of people flashing around this number of £157 bill rise, but that is over 5 years. So a lot of people will be worried when they hear that, but that's not going to be till 2030, which is quite a long way off. Now, they're still going to go up by 30 quid this April.
Yep.
And that's not nothing, but it's not the scale that the more fear-mongering members of the media like to portray it. And they do need money to sort it. On the bonuses, the government are stepping in. So there is a new bill coming through that says if water companies aren't performing, the bonuses cannot be paid.
Sure.
Again, and another time I was speaking to you, we were talking about Sue Gray's pay. If it costs X amount to get the best people in to sort problems, I don't have a problem with paying X amount so they're sorting out water problems rather than sorting out whatever PricewaterhouseCoopers want them to sort out. These companies are like my local water company supplies 5 million people. Thames Water is like 15, 17 million people. So between them, a bonus of 100 grand to somebody means nothing at all.
Collectively, if you look at the amount of money.
Yeah, but because we need to pay, we need to get it right.
But are these half of these, but they always say you've got to pay the best people. But then I do wonder, are they the best? I mean, Sue Gray, look what happened to Sue Gray. She walked the plank within about 5 minutes. I mean, it was not very long lasting. And then, I wonder sometimes, the woman that used to run the post office, Paula Venel, I think it is. Yeah, Venels. Yeah. I mean, someone somewhere along the line in her glorious career decided she was amazing. There was literally no evidence to support this analysis that she was amazing and incredible. I think it was based on the fact she didn't look like a conventional kind of person. She was a church woman. She was a bit quirky because of that. She didn't do high fashion, so therefore she must be amazing. There must be another. What nobody took a step back to analyse and conclude was that she actually wasn't very good, and demonstrably so, as we now know. And I wonder whether some of these companies, Tatton, are full of these characters that have sort of shinned up the corporate ladder with very little, no one asking many questions about them. They've just sort of got there, stayed there, and then they move from one job to the other. The fellow who runs the water company, he leaves the job, he's running BT a couple of days later, then he leaves BT, you find he's over there, on the board at Channel 4 or something. They seem to lurk in this really curious world. It's like a sort of strange, closed cartel of average people, the Peter Principle in action.
It is outstanding, amazing how you're right. This cabal of people that move from place to place to place.
Yeah.
I don't know how they get there, and maybe this is the problem. But
I want to know because I want to get there. I want to join them.
Absolutely.
I want to be running a water company.
Would you go water company? Would you? I'd take American Express, I think.
Would you? American Express? Oh, that'd do nice,
I reckon that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
But we have to get somewhere else, and that's the thing. What we've tried privatizing water because water wasn't going well before, so we privatized it, and that hasn't been a great success, so we need to do something else. And yes, we need more root and branch than just raising the bills, but we don't know what else is going on because they're all quite opaque.
Yep.
We need to be getting rid of the people who are the fat cats sitting around not doing anything.
There it is. On that point, Tatton, we hit the clock. Great to have you on. Have a fantastic Christmas. We will speak in 2025. He is Tatton Spiller, founder of Simple Politics.